morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday, June the 5th, promptly at 11:05 Pacific Standard Time. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be in production. It is a beautiful day to be a part of this elite team as you all are champions. I missed you last week. Share a quick story. If you ever get a chance to, we're all Googleites. So if you ever Google Supervisor Federal D. Glover's name, he was the District 5 County Supervisor for Contra Costa County, and a man who was very influential in my life. If it wasn't for Supervisor Glover giving me the opportunity when I was released from prison in 2005, I wouldn't be here today. And he passed. And so I had to pivot because I wasn't going to attend the funeral. I just don't like funerals. However, he was just too pivotal in my life. So thank you to Dan and the squad for running the audible, which gave me the time to be able to go and pay my respects to Supervisor Glover. It was an amazing experience. You know, we have a birth date and a death date, and that's inevitable. But there's a dash between those dates, and what we do in our lives and how we operate in this world is what creates or what makes up that dash. So how will you be remembered? What does your dash say about the impact that you made in this life? You know, I looked around that room and there were thousands of people in that church. Literally, they were busting out of the seams, filling up the overflow rooms. The balcony was jam packed. Politicians on a national, state, and local level, church folks on all levels, just regular old community based folks, just people from the neighborhood was in that space, which showed the impact that Supervisor Glover really had. And it just caused me to reflect on, how do I want to be remembered? So I'm going to pose that question to you. And this is not us even going out into the field yet, but on a life level, a human level, what are you doing today to make sure that you leave your imprint on this world? Because tomorrow's not promised to us. It don't have nothing to do with real estate, but it has everything to do with us as human beings and God's creation. Got a jam-packed day today. I'm going to take us out on the field with a thought. And this thought is more so around, damn, we got a few people in the waiting room, and you know we're shutting that door in 2 minutes, and I don't want them to not get their name checked by being in attendance from being in the waiting room. We're conversion masters in this space. If you're in this space, you are a part of the #1 Zillow Flex team in Northern California, period. It's not a negotiation. It's not a conversation. The numbers speak for themselves. That makes you champions. That makes us elite performers. So from that perspective, we are here to talk about conversion. Everything starts with a mindset. So here's my equation for you coming onto the field. Frequency equals familiarity. Here's what I mean by that as it relates to the conversion mindset. How frequently are you engaging with your leads? Because the more frequent that you engage with your leads, the more familiar you will be with them as their guide who is providing value and advising them on the best path for the biggest purchase in their life. Frequency equals familiarity. Are you posting on social media? Are you giving value? Are you adding guidance? Are you touching base? Are you following up via video? Are you familiar to them, or are you a one-shot Ersky only swinging for the low-hanging fruit? Check it out. If frequency equals familiarity, familiarity equals trust. And we know that buyers and sellers work with people that what? They know, like, and trust. So if your frequency is lacking, then you're not familiar to the lead, then you're not developing the trust and you won't convert. But on the contrary, if we're frequent in our flow, in our work, in our engagement, in our outbound, in our follow up, in our systems, in our sequences, then we become familiar as the guide that develops trust. Guess what the result of that is, ladies and gentlemen? Conversion. Really as simple as that. So check your level of frequency. Look through your CRMs. Scrub how frequently are you engaging? How frequently are you managing? Are you familiar? Do they trust you? And if you don't have a crooked number in your conversion column, we may want to go back and look at the fundamentals of that equation. Everybody still with me? Everybody good? Got some hitters on the line. I'm looking at the faces and the names on in this screen. I can't switch. I can't toggle through the pages. I'll lose my focus. But damn, y'all look good. Hello. Okay. Let's get into it. Got a packed agenda for today. We're going to first talk about our wins for the week. My brother Dan is going to provide some programmatic updates. You guys know that we're expanding into markets. We've taken shit over. We have already taken the throne for Northern California. Now we're expanding out into Central Valley to take that seat as well. Congratulations to you guys. Dan, you got Sam in the waiting room. Go ahead and bring her in so I could scold her for being late like I would do anybody else. Well, we wouldn't let them in after 11:10 period. So Dan's going to
It's
talk
all right.
about,
She came in earlier and was having internet issues, so
of course you would go to bat for her. Of course you would. We're going to talk programmatic updates. And today is going to be somewhat of a different flow. It's not going to be so much Dan and I at the front of the room on the microphone leading us through the art and the science of conversion mastery, but we're going to tap into the champions and the strategies that are in this room. We're going to draw from our collective wisdom. Okay, we're going to talk about real case studies that you guys are experiencing in certain phases of the conversion equation and the conversion process that some of us may be getting hung up on, that others can share their victories, their wins, their better practices, their strategic approaches, so that we can learn from the collective. Everybody good with that? I hope that you come ready to contribute. You know I don't have a problem calling your name. Wins for the week. We've got hell of them. So I want three people, one from the Stockton office, two from the Bay Area team, to share with me or share with us in the group some of the wins that you've had for the week. Now, Stockton, I'm looking forward to hearing something from you guys as your market is you guys are new, just started receiving your leads. I saw Samandy's I saw Samandy's post. She got $1 million plus lead, and she tore up out that office. Her feet, her sandals had smoke coming out of her back of her shoes as fast as she was moving to go get that lead. So I want to hear about some wins from the week. I'll wait for you all. We're not letting that person, whoever that is, that's in the waiting room, Dan, they gets no entry. I got two hands up. I got three hands up. Excellent. I love the energy of contributions thus far. Who did I have first? Jacob, my man, wins for the week. Take yourself off of mute. I see you cutting the wheel, bro. You leaning and you cutting the wheel, so make sure you somewhere safe.
I just parked.
Get into it.
Yeah, we got a good one. So it's from Zillow. He was looking in Mission Bay, and the house was like the condo was 985. So they wanted 935 at the most, at the least, and he didn't want to come up past 900. So I had to convince him to come up to 930, and then I had to convince them to come down 50 or 55,000. And then from that, I had to make them come down another 5,000 and pay for our commission. So we did a good job negotiating. We got him in contract. It's going to take a bit to close because it's contingent on the sale of his boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good negotiation. We did a great job.
Okay, so congratulations on that. So let me make sure I heard you right. So you capitalized on the trend in the market. You're buying a condo in San Francisco, 900 plus. Based upon the trend in the market, with there being a lot more inventory than there are buyers right now, what that's saying to everyone, if you didn't hear that message, is that the buyers can dictate the terms.
Absolutely.
Right. So not only did you negotiate the terms in terms of discounted on the price point, but you also negotiated seller credits and concessions.
Yep.
When did you guys ratify a contract?
We did it actually on I think it was Tuesday is when it became official.
Did you guys log it already?
We logged it, but I put it like a couple hours after the cutoff time, so we didn't have it on the Tuesday meeting. But we got it in contract.
So you logged it on the sales tracker for the team. Did you log it
Yeah.
in Zillow yet?
Did I log it in Zillow yet? Not yet.
What?
I just used the sales tracker.
Okay, so
Go
now
for
it's
it.
time.
Yeah.
Everyone's good to go to log those
I was
transactions
about
on
to say,
Zillow now. We're in
what the
June.
hell taking you so long? The hell taking you so long? Look, hey, Jacob. Okay, I just had a one-to-one with you yesterday, so I can't really push the issue too hard, but I'm going to anyway. You got 2 hours, Otis. I see your business partners on this call somewhere. Log that. Hey, but listen, congratulations. That's good stuff. Thank you for that, man. Congratulations to you and Otis. I saw two other hands up, but then they went down, but I need them to go back up. Who are those? Samandy, what you got for us, Central Valley Queen? Intensity Goat? What is it?
So yesterday, my life like did a whole 360. Um, I was going to the office originally, and I was gonna chill there. I was gonna chill there because me and Anna had a listing appointment in Richmond at 5. So I was like, I'm gonna chill there till then. And then I got Zillow calls. So then I got the 1.3 call that was at 2:30, and then I got a fixer at 3:30. So I literally went from Stockton to Mountain House to Stockton to Richmond.
Whew!
Now, yeah, I'm running comps so we can write offers on the 2 Zillow leads that I got.
So let's talk about this. First piece, first, congratulations. And I hope you guys heard that. It's big money in Central Valley, contrary to what folks are talking about. It's big money in Central Valley. And with us now taking over the Central Valley market, and us, we are the big dog in that market. Um, it just brings me so much like Samantha, I'm super excited for you. I'm super excited for this for the Central Valley office, but I heard that 1,000,003. So want to just make sure that this is there's money in that Central Valley market. So if you're on that team, I'm expecting you guys to dominate at a high level. So Samantha, tell us more about that in terms of how did you present getting the single property touring agreement or the BRBC signed so fast?
Well, I was at the office when I got the calls right before it, so I sent them out. But other than that, I have one of them is they're both gonna pull. Like for example, the one in Mountain House, he's like, I submitted an offer before at 1.4 and got outbid, and this is like
Mm,
the one that I want. So
mm.
like he's already pre-approved with his lender, and then the other one's a cash buyer.
I love both of those.
Yeah, me too.
So it's nothing like launching a new market, Dan.
And they both thought I was Indian, so that hit it off really good. I'm like, no, but I look like it, and
I
I can.
figured, not to be racist or racial or anything like that, because we are a reflection of the world,
They
right?
loved me. Yeah, they
Hey,
loved
the
me.
mountain house is that demographic though,
Mhm.
right? It just legit is. That's just what it is. And so, Samandi is Mexican as hell.
I was like, I
But
mean, I could be Indian for the day.
but if she Punjab today for the 1-5, hey, you got to
That's
become
true.
all things to all people to win a few, somebody. You know what I
I
mean?
was like, I'm gonna call my friend though to translate in case you guys need it, but I got you.
Yes. Hey, congratulations on that. So, for you guys know, Stockton just started to receive their lead flow last week, and so that we're getting some positive feedback from them, as you just heard from Samandi, million plus multiple times, cash buyer, pre-approved buyer. I love that. Way to start with some momentum. Super excited about that. I need one more. That was two. Chris, big dog, my dude, talk to us. Share with us some wins of the week.
Yeah, just with the Zillow program. I actually connected with my first Zillow today, and it was got a great connection. She's a nurse with 3 kids. She works in Sacramento, wants to buy a house in Stockton. And it was like an $850,000 house, and now I'm setting up three listings for her to see today. And she's like slam dunk. She's pre-approved, and it sounds really good. And I'm glad I got this one because the last couple leads I came in, I had to pass it up because I was in the middle of appointments and stuff. And I was like, damn, I keep passing up the leads, but it was crazy because this morning I got a lead, but I was getting ready for a listing presentation, and I was like, "Damn, I can't make it," so I had to pass it up. And then my seller canceled on me, and I was pissed off. I was like, damn, I just passed him a lead, got canceled, and I could have took that lead. But
Right.
literally after I dropped my son to school, I got another lead for this nurse, and so it worked out. So I'm just excited because I'm getting some Zillow leads, and yeah, let's go.
Oh man, you guys, I'm super excited for you too, bro. You guys are going to absolutely crush it. And here's my message to you guys at this juncture in the Central Valley team: protect the asset. Okay, protect the asset. The asset is the lead, right? Run your plays. Okay, you guys are firefighters. We run through the fire. You protect the asset. The difference between us and our team and any other team that is in the markets that are that we work in is they don't run the conversion mastery play to the degree and detail that we do. That's why we're at the top of the food chain now. And that's why we're taking over the Central Valley. So run your plays that we train, develop, and measure on a lead by lead case basis and protect the asset. When you protect the asset, the hero of the whole story is the person whose life you've helped change as the guide. You dig? Man, I love that. Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations, Samani. You got two more, then we're gonna rapid fire. Yeah, like the Secret Service, Jay. Mama San,
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone.
good morning.
Morning, morning. It's actually afternoon over here. I'm in the East Coast working.
Hold on, wait a minute. Where are you at?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
You stay
Yeah.
moving around.
My business and family out here, but
Love it.
still
Make
working
sure
out
you get
here.
that good pizza.
Yes, still working, still working. I received a few leads this week, but coming home tomorrow to tour 6 properties, and then Saturday touring another 6 properties with clients that I got through Zillow this week. But one of my big, I guess it's a win, or I'm really excited about it, is last week I closed one of my favorite properties I've ever done to date, which was the historical cathedral building in downtown Oakland, the one that looks like a wedding cake. Anyways, I closed that last week, and I just so happened to get a buyer on Zillow that is like ready to the property right below it. We sold 9, and now 8 is available, and this client is like ready to move on it. So excited that, and it's kind of just ironic that I closed on that one, and then I got a buyer that's ready to buy on number 8. So that was a win from Zillow. I'm excited about that.
Hey, congratulations on that. One thing that you said that I want to correct you on, it's not ironic at all. It is by design.
Yes.
But you
But
are
yeah, no, but here's the cool thing about it is that because I sold it, I have like I have all of the the background of the property. I already could speak on it. Like, hey, I just so happen to close this one. I know, the listing agent. I know all the history about the property. I know, the pros and cons and the loopholes that we had to go through. So I already went through that whole lingo with the client, and he's like, oh wow, you have so much background on this property already. Like, I'm excited to work with you. And so that was a plus of that.
absolutely. I want you guys to hear something that I heard. She automatically presented value based upon her market knowledge of that asset. The reaction from the lead was, wow, you know a lot about that. Do you think that she established some trust with that lead by presenting value out the gate? The answer is yes. What is the probability that that is going to result in a conversion?
Mhm.
The answer is pretty high, right? It's value based that creates the trust that leads to conversion. I'm proud of you, Drea. I would like to say that as your coach who has spent countless 30-minute sessions with your ass, I was so happy to see that you were.
Mahalo.
Let's go. Okay, George, close us out, and then we're gonna rapid fire. And I love the wins of the week, but we can't spend too much time on it because Dan will send me a long ass text message at the end. Who's talking about you spent too much time talking? Okay, George, give it to me.
Yeah, so I would say I feel like the growth that I've just done in my own personal life, I would look at this and I would consider it a win, but I think the version of me last year would have saw it as like kind of like a boo-hoo, poor me, like and dull on it. But I think this is a win for me just because I feel like this buyer lead from Zillow has like kind of taught me how to shift my mindset, especially because it's one of like the highest price points and clients that I've been showing lately. So I got this buyer 3 weeks ago, and honestly, I wasn't too sure about it, but I found out. I mean, he's super serious. He's possibly turning into three or two different transactions. So he sold his house in Fremont in December, January, and bought a brand new construction Pulte home for almost 2 million that he decked out with his wife on the lake. And then his job's like, just kidding, motherfucker, you got to come back to the Bay Area. So I've been
Oh,
helping him nonstop for the last 3 weeks look for homes in like the 2.5 to 3 million price point. I just found out he's fully pre-approved to 3.5 million and does not need to sell his home, but he wants to sell his home afterward. And so he actually had me showing him homes like every day for the last 3 weeks, like calling me on an hour to 2 hours notice. And I basically, like Sandy said, just dropping everything and it throwing my day in a whirlwind. But I basically started out writing, I've written like 4 offers for him. The first one started at like 2.35, then I got him to 2.6, then 2.7, then 2.8, now 2.9. And then now he's like, you know what? If I actually really like something, I can probably do it close to my maxed 3.5. So it's definitely taught me a lot of how to like be more strategic, even beyond what I already do, because I mean, I've built a lot of good rapport with a lot of these agents, and a lot of them in this price point I've never met before. So I think another win is just like actually really breaking the ice with them, because I've noticed, honestly, I'm sorry, but I feel like these luxury agents in the higher price points are less bitchy than the ones in other price points. Like they're willing to shoot the shit with you, and they're really going based off of how much like rapport they build with you, because now even when they were getting other offers, they were like helping coach me and saying, hey, you know what, I really want to work with you. Unfortunately, we submitted one the other day, and basically right before our 1 minute timeline, the seller called their agent and said, just kidding, motherfuckers, I'm taking the house off the market and not selling. As they were about to accept our offer, they had a sudden.
oh,
So,
yeah,
I mean, that's a case study to use for people, because I mean, it's also like, don't be that asshole that's just trying to waste our time as an agent. And I mean, I'm going to be using that even when I meet with sellers, and just tell them, like, you know what, don't be that asshole testing the market, because you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot at the end of the day, because buyers are super smart. They're going to see you listed your house at 3 million, and then 3 months, you're all of a sudden raising it to 3.5 million. Like the math isn't mathing. So
right.
I think testing the market, especially in the market we're going into now. So that actually, like, I've learned a ton of different lessons. And then now I know these buyers are actually super motivated. So yesterday I went out, took the drone, and I looked at like new construction homes, and I just threw the drone up and I started recording the entire community, and I put it in a Google Drive. And now I actually got my buyer. He actually had me re-sign the BRBC with him to make it non-exclusive, because now he's widening his search and wants to be able to tour with me and his friend. So I figured, you know what, let me lock this guy in, let me do the extra mile. And so that's why I grabbed the drone yesterday and I just tossed it up and went to Danville, Alamo. I talked to my coach Raquel, and she was like, you know what, this is what you do to make him think he got a good deal. Hop on the MLS, look at any homes that have been sitting on the market at like 3.3, 3.5 million, and they've been on the market for like 40 to 60 days plus. Call the agents and then ask them if there's room to be made like on a deal. Send it to him and then just be like, dude, like, let's go look at these. I think I can get you like 300K off the list price. Because I feel like right now, even in the luxury market, what I've been seeing is like people are literally catching deals like by the $100,000 in price cuts too. So like, I mean, even with one of my own other buyers recently, it was a property sitting on the market for 40 days. I just got my buddy into a condo in Newark, and it was listed 750. We're in contract for 710. He's using a VA loan. So he's basically getting his EMD back. And I got him $26,000, which is the most amount of credit I've ever gotten back for a buyer
Love it.
this year so far. So my friend's basically getting paid to buy a house and gonna get the money back. And I got them to cover my commission and cover the special assessment taxes for the HOA and all the unpaid HOA dues. And they're covering up to $800 of the home warranty too. So I feel like across the board, there's a lot of like negotiation power for the buyers right now, which even for me, I think on the seller side, I'm like, oh shit, do I want to take more listings? But I think even if you do, what I've learned is right now it's also kind of scaling back and really on your like pricing strategy in a way that I mean scale back is really like honing in and looking and kind of undercutting what just came to the market, but not by too much. Because what I've been seeing with my own buyers is just that a lot of agents on the sales side or listing side are like going based off of comps that were like higher right before this shift. And now they're all getting, those are the ones going stale. And I think from being on the seller side now, what I'm going to do for all my listings that are not Zillow seller is that I feel like I'm going to actually pay for Zillow Showcase now because it's going to push it out more and it's going to push it faster. So I think having the Zillow Showcase on the listings is what helped them sell, and the pricing, of course, is what helped them sell fast in like 4 to 6 days, all with preemptive offers. And those were my two last listings. So I'm kind of taking everything that I'm learning in the buyer side and really trying to help the seller side and price accordingly.
Smart.
Sorry, that
So
was a lot. I had my Adderall and coffee today.
that's that's okay, brother. Thank you for your contributions. And there was a lot that you said, but for the collective group, I want to reverberate one thing that he said in terms of protecting the asset. We have heard from 4 or 5 contributors today who have all received leads ranging from 1 million to 3.5 million from Zillow. Your phone is ringing when your Brandy's in the car. Samandi's moving around. Daniela's holding the baby. V is holding her dog. We all doing what we do. And if that phone rings, it's $1 to $3.5 million potential asset on the other line. If any one of you guys need some assistance in one of those contracts, Coach V is still in production, only just for a little bit longer. No, I'm just playing. Congratulations to you guys. I'm hell of excited for all of you. Love to hear your growth. Love to hear your wins. We are a winning team. We are a championship team, and we want to always lead with our wins for the week. My brother, take yourself off of mute. You are freshly shaven down to the skin. No longer looking like the 1978 drug dealer from South Beach, Miami. Now you're looking like that old PhD lead scientist that I've come to know, love, and like over the time.
Thanks for the intro.
Bring us in, bro.
I wanted to give just one thought on several of the things that I heard from the examples that we heard, and that was George and Mama San, the most two recent ones, doing a really great job of leveraging the relationships and the knowledge that you got from the Zillow deals into other opportunities. So George was talking about, I assume, right, wanting to break into the luxury market, this $3 million plus range, and saying that you've never met the agents at that price point before. And this is an amazing opportunity to use Zillow as a way to grow and expand your business into this new market, into this new opportunity. And Andre, you're saying the closing that you got in this one building allowed you to deliver and add value more and really deepen and leverage that knowledge that you got. And I would throw that out to all of you, that one deal, one client from Zillow should never be just one client, should never be just one deal. If you're really using it with any of your leads, really, it doesn't just have to be Zillow, but one can ultimately turn into 2, 3, 4 if you're leveraging it correctly with the knowledge that you're getting, with the expertise that you're gaining, with the credibility, with reviews, with all of these sorts of things. And I think we heard some really good examples of specific, tangible ways that you can take an opportunity and turn it into more opportunities. So I really appreciated those contributions. That was good. Samantha said, one Zillow client got you 2 more deals. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, this happens a lot. So I wanted to also throw out there, this last week, we were talking about how our team was #1 for the month of May for production, but I'm really excited to share that we got our stats from our Zillow rep, and we are #1 in the region for the last 6 months on average. So anyone can do 1 month, have a really good bang up month, but for the last 6 months, our average sales have
Yeah,
put us
okay,
at number
yeah.
1 in the Bay Area for all the Bay Area teams. And look at this, we're number 1 by 1% too. The John and Leslie Foster team down in Castro Valley, they're a really fine-tuned machine. They're chomping at our heels, 1% above them. So you know they're seeing these numbers too, and they're going to get a fire lit under their asses, and they're going to want to come after us. So what we're going to be focusing on today for the rest of the time is really continuing to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and figure out how do we get more opportunities out of the opportunities that we've got so far. But congratulations, all of you. Vernon, congratulations to you, this whole team, everyone in this room. Consistent performance across time is what we are seeing, and that is how we are getting more opportunities. That's how we're getting more clients, and really seeing the growth that we're seeing here. So, couple of program updates. So, if you didn't see it in the Slack channel, if you didn't hear it last week, if you forgot about it, if you haven't seen it on the calendar, we are doing our in-person quarterly Zillow Flex Summit Tuesday of next week. It shifted. It was 2 weeks from now, but it shifted up to Tuesday, June 10th, 2:30 to 4:30 at the Oakland office. Check the Team Fast calendar. It's on there. Add it to your appointment. This is our quarterly required in-person meeting, and this one's going to be an especially important one because we're going to have our Zillow rep Max is going to be out here in person, and then we are also going to have our Zillow Home Loans manager who's going to be coming, and most of the day is going to be all about Zillow Home Loans. We're going to be launching ZHL in our market. I think it's officially going to go in at the end of July sometime.
Yep.
The Bay Area market's moving to an enhanced market, which means a bunch of things, but it really means that ZHL is going to be a much bigger part of all of our world. I heard several of you last week saying that you have worked with ZHL, you have had experiences with that. I saw some chatter asking, hey, who's a good loan officer from ZHL? So I love the engagement already that we're seeing on this because this is going to deepen our relationship with Zillow. It's going to allow us to deliver more value to our customers. They're seeing it in other markets get more pull through where people are used to working in Zillow, and so it's easier to get them pre-approved through the platform that they already know. So they're more likely to get pre-approved and continue working with you rather than going off to some other random lender, and then that lender refers them to their preferred agent, and they go and disappear in the ecosystem. So there's a lot of benefits to this. So Tuesday, June 10th, 2:30, Oakland. Be
Be
there.
there. Be
Yeah.
there.
And Vernon, anything you want to say on that in person?
No, just make sure you're there. This ZHL piece with these enhanced markets are what's happening now. Okay, they're doing away with being able to buy Zillow leads. That's about to be over. It's all about flex moving forward. So what that means for us, you guys, is that means a bigger slice of the market share for us. That means pre-approved buyers through ZHL that are automatically transferred over to us already ready to buy. Okay, so those loan officers and our regional rep are going to be in our space at HQ. Be in the building. It is Mando. It's our quarterly mastermind. So make sure that you're there because one, as we all know, working with a lender, relationship is key, right? Turnaround times, terms, and so forth, but relationships are key. And as the Bay is an enhanced market, also Stockton is now an enhanced market. And so this is what the new norm is. So we're going to get ahead of the curve because we know that our next region is Sacramento. And so what we're doing now is going to open the door for us to take over that entire region out where Dan is and Chris is and everybody, our whole Sacramento team is. So be there, no excuses. If you can't make it, notify Dan and or myself as early as possible, but your attendance is mandatory.
Yep. One other thing, Vernon, I think you might have jumped off when our meeting ran over yesterday, but our Zillow rep, I asked him about how do they deal with pre-approved ZHL clients that come through, right? Because what we're getting is our clients who come through and want to tour a home and say they're interested in ZHL, and then we connect them to ZHL. They have a whole nother flow, which is people who come through the Zillow Home Loans part of their website, get their loan approval, are pre-approved, have a lender already, and then Zillow says, who are we going to send that to? The way that they do that is based on that rankings that I just sent you. I just showed everyone. So they're not just randomly sending it out to teams across Bay Area. They're looking at who are the top performing teams, and we get a disproportionate and unfair share of the Zillow Home Loan pre-approved clients. So the more that we stay at the top of that stack, the more pre-approved buyers that we're going to get through as well. I'm really excited about that because I mean, we work pre-approved buyers all day. Jay, what do you got?
Said a question for the Zillow home loans. I don't know if it's now's the right time or maybe on the meeting, but I think every one of us that has been in the business for a while has been what do you call this? Trying to find like a perfect loan partner where you can shoot each other some referrals, right? And I think um, usually the traditional loan brokers, they don't get a lot of leads because most of the buyers come to the realtors and then the realtors introduce them to lenders. I think Zillow might be a great fit for that since a lot of people go directly to Zillow, right? So do Zillow home loans, can you partner with somebody there? Then you can kind of refer each other clients or
I think I would say remember that question and ask that on Tuesday. And for everyone, Tuesday, bring your questions about ZHL because that's what it's there for, is for us to dump them with questions and make sure that we're all really comfortable with how this program is going to work. Jay, I think the answer is sort of. We can get into that on Tuesday. It's not going to be the same as with an independent loan broker, but there are some similarities that we can get into then.
To
okay.
that point, I
Yep.
want to just state this to everyone on this call who plans to be at the mastermind. Come strapped with all your questions, right? We really want to put the pressure on ZHL for them to understand what we need as agents from them in order for this relationship to be successful. We're not bowing down to the 800-pound gorilla of Zillow and just shoving ZHL down our throat without any pushback. No, they need to understand what their deliverables need to be in order for us to have a relationship with them, to want to be able to do business with them. This is a two-way street. So come armed with your questions. Come with your magazine full of bullets to shoot their way in terms of what we would need from loan officers from their ZHL program to help us be successful at our work from them. Does that make sense? It's not them dictating to us. It's actually us kind of dictating to them what we need, and then having them conform and construct the systems to make that relationship work. Just want to make sure I'm clear on that. What else you got, Deep?
All right. One other thing on ZHL, 2 weeks from now, I think, or maybe 3 weeks from now, we're going to have a meet and greet with the loan officers themselves. So next Tuesday, it's going to be the manager of the 5 or 6 loan officers that are responsible for the Bay Area. Our conversion clinic in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'll send everyone the specific dates, is going to be the actual loan officers themselves are going to be coming in. We're going to do a meet and greet. We're going to let you all get some face-to-face time so you know who they are, can start building relationships. So, all right, let's use these last 15 minutes here. I want to transition, get into some workshopping. Same thing that we did last week, looking at the clients who are in mid-funnel, right? You booked the appointment, you've talked with them, you built a really good relationship, but these are not the people who you're writing offers for, you're consistently showing homes, right? You got them, say the people in the bag aside. And I want y'all to be thinking about those people who you've either booked an appointment with and the date for the appointment passed and you didn't meet with them for one reason or another, property went pending, kid got sick, whatever, but you booked an appointment, you haven't met them face to face yet, or someone that you booked an appointment with and you met with, and you're kind of struggling to figure out how to keep them engaged and how to get them to the second appointment or to the buyer's consultation. Because what I want to share with everyone, like we, as a refresher from last week, the opportunity here, what we're really trying to zone in on, in the month of May, we got 319 connections. You all ran 105 appointments, huge number of appointments. But that was a 33% appointment met rate. And the goal is 45%, right? So we could have been at 143. And what could we as a team have done with an additional 40 face-to-face appointments? Everyone in this room getting one more appointment with a client face-to-face. What could we have done with that? Could we get another closing or two out of that? Yeah. Could we get another 3 or 4 out of that? I bet we could, right? So that's the opportunity that we're looking at and saying, how do we get face-to-face and stickier with more of those people? So last time we had a great discussion. Tim shared an example of a client that he had met with and they had a kid, and we brainstormed on ways to stay engaged with that. So open flow, I'm opening the floor up to anyone who wants to volunteer who has a client that, again, you booked an appointment with but haven't met with, and you're struggling to get them engaged, or you've met with them, but you're not feeling it. You haven't gotten the second appointment, you haven't got that buyer's tour. Anyone want to be brave? Jump on, throw their hands. All right, Liz, thank you. First
And
volunteer.
we're looking for some more contributors too, because these are real case study scenarios. Every one of us are in the market. Our phones are ringing. You're receiving leads. If I pull up the appointment met rate as a team, there should be hella people whose hands raised up who have some case studies and some
There we
challenges.
go.
Thank you. There we go.
All
Let's
right,
have
all
a
right.
robust conversation.
So Liz, let's start us off. And the answers I want to come from all of you. This isn't going to be from Vernon and I. Let's hear from the group. So Liz, tell us about the client. Tell us what's happened, what you've done, and then we'll open up for discussion. Go ahead, take the mic.
Yeah, so I met with this client. He wanted to see a couple properties, and the first time that we were supposed to meet, he kind of flaked, but I was able to get him on a FaceTime, and we did like a tour that way. And then we met up again the following day. He signed a BRBC with me, like flat out, and was like, great. I have a couple things going on. He went out of the country for pretty much the entire month of May. He was like, but my wife will take care of things, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. So pretty much all of May trying to get any sort of contact with her. And they had also said, oh, like, we're really interested in XYZ property. Can you get us information? So got information for them. They did not respond when I was like, hey, like, we have like, I've got the information for you. Like, let's talk about it. And then they set a meeting with me, flaked on it, never showed up. And then ever since then, it's just been like chasing them down, like calling, leaving messages, leaving text messages after I leave voice messages. The only thing I haven't done is email, and I'm like, maybe I need to email these people, but legit, like, I have a BRBC signed until the middle or end of July with them. So I don't know, like, what happened.
Are you
Okay.
using video for engagement?
No, but I also don't even know if that's going to help, because I've called her, I've called him, every time I leave a voice message, I also follow up with a text saying, hey, I left you a voice message, call me back. I always sit there and say, this is your agent as well, because like, that's what I am. You signed a BRBC with me. Like, I'm your real estate agent. And just absolute silence.
Group, what do we think? If you got a contribution on this, go ahead and take yourself off mute. I see a few hands raised, but
I
Joe,
have
do that.
something.
Go, Joe.
So, and if Vandana's on the screen too, she might remember this because I know she worked at Yelp as well. So I know I use that method they taught me. They have two different methods, like obviously call, immediately send text, immediately send an email. So I've been using ChatGPT to do that for me. So I'll just I downloaded the app and I talked into it in my phone because I feel like it'll pick up more accuracy and learn you more over time, especially if you just pay the $20 a month. So I usually will be like, hey, act as a real estate agent. Help me come up with a follow-up text and email. I've been having trouble getting with this person. And then just tell it like what you're facing. And I always tell it, write me a follow-up text and email to send after this call. This was how our conversation went when I initially talked to them. Now they're kind of ghosting me. So can you just be flat out without being rude, but do it in a nice way that encourages them to contact me, to basically call them out and see if they're ghosting me, because I'd rather jump over the bush than beat around it, and let them know I'm not here to waste their time. I tell ChatGPT that, and I've been getting like a ton of responses, because then it'll be like, hey, if you ghosted me, just let me know what's up, like nicely and making it a joke. But then also too, you could always like send them like a video message using this method that they taught us at Yelp. It's called the equilateral triangle. It's called feel, felt, found. And then you can have ChatGPT make you like a quick little script, and kind of, or have you give you a basis based on what everyone's saying they're seeing in the market. So you can be like, hey, Dan, like, I've been reaching out. I'm pretty sure you're feeling like what most of my other buyer clients are feeling right now in today's market. Like, you're probably feeling discouraged. Excuse me, or you feel like it's unattainable to buy a house, but what some of my clients have found once they met with me and my lenders is that they found that they're in a much better position than they actually thought. And you can learn about this 2-1 buy down strategy where you can actually buy down your interest rate. One of my buyers actually just got a 5% interest rate in today's market and $26,000 in credit and $40,000 off the list price. So I think there's an opportunity for us to at least have a conversation, because you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So let me know what works best for your schedule, and I'm happy to rearrange it. And just send them like a video like that, because then you're bringing down their walls. Because then right now they're like, one, I might not know you. Two, you're like giving them kind of like, oh shit, everybody else is feeling this way too. Maybe it is worth having a conversation with Liz about this. And then you're kind of like bringing their walls down and humanizing it. Because right now you're probably just calling, they're like, who the fuck is this? Like, there's no attachment. So,
they are actually investors too. So this isn't like a personal property that they're trying to buy. They own a couple other properties. And he was like, oh, I met with my financial advisor. I need to buy 5 more properties this year.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, like the feeling is probably like, I would love if he had feelings.
Okay.
But
you could tell him you're on a, yeah, I would say then in that case, since he's an investor, I would tell him like, hey, like I'm on a team of 300 plus agents. Like we have a large pool of off markets. I'm only sending it out to my VIP investors. If you want to be added onto that VIP list, you get priority. However, you can do a takeaway, because I've been doing this lately with my investors. However, I only add investors to my VIP list that I'm looking to build a long-term relationship with, in the sense that you're going to buy it through me and you're going to relist it through me when you're done. Those are the type of investors I'm adding to my VIP list. Oh, and by the way, how long have you been an investor for? Because I want to work with investors that are seasonal. And the reason why I ask that is because I'm getting all these investors that are brand new and don't know what the hell that they're doing. So I'm curious, can you actually send me your resume on your past projects as well? Because then that way you're not wasting your time and you're cutting him the hell out. Because if he's a time waster and he's like brand new and just getting into this, and he's going to buy it through you and relist it through a different agent, I would say don't even waste your damn time. And what's it called? You basically are like, you're basically setting yourself up for that longevity relationship. And it's true, like right now, if you can like think smarter and not harder right now, and get him to be on your VIP list to where you're sending him homes. But it's like, it's even better, because then you're turning that one transaction into multiple. And you could even turn that one purchase into 3, where he buys it with you, relists it through you host all the damn open houses, and then you procure the buyer and double end it. So it's like, if you can lock him in that way, I've been doing it that way, and I've locked in a few investors where now I represented the seller, and then I represent them on the buy side. Now they're relisting it through me. So I'm turning this one deal into possibly 4 if I double end it with the next buyer. So it's like, then you're getting all these people, and then it's a long-term relationship. Because if honestly, let's be real, all investors are a crock of shit and frauds. I mean, most of them are.
All right, George, I love it. I love it. The contribution, the Adderall's kicked in real nice. No, but that was super valuable.
Well, that's how you really feel, George.
No, that's such valuable stuff, though.
I'm like, you got to be real though, because we're business at the end of the day, not a nonprofit.
Yeah, and there are a lot of investors out there.
Rapid fire, Dan. Rapid fire.
Brandy, why don't we take you on? Let's get you through in a couple of minutes and see if we can.
Dog, if we got time to get to you, we will, brother. Dog, you on deck. Brandy, what's your contribution? We can't hear you. Looks like you're off of mute, but we still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I'm off of mute. Anyways, so I have one that I met on Zillow. I have a BRBC signed. We've met, we've toured houses. But now, every time, so he responds, but he he's like poker face. Like he doesn't give me anything to work with. Like we're in constant communication, but it's always like, thank you so much for your help. Great info. And I'm like, no, come on. Like, when do you want to tour? Like, when do you want to? So I've just been nurturing, but is there anything else to like spark more of, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just like, come on, dude, like what, when he says like he has a timeline, but now it's like even past the timeline and there's no info coming back. It's just very like neutral responses. Even when I asked like the questions, like there was he did had tell me like, oh, I'm waiting. So I did give him like a market update and things like that. And I noticed he was looking outside of where originally he said like he wanted. And I was like, oh, I see that you're looking here. Is this a new area? And it's just like, yes. And so I try to spark like more of a conversation, like, oh, what has made you think of this location or blah, blah. And it's just very like, very neutral, no other info.
One word responses. All right, team, what do we think? How do we move it from the one word responses to get a little more engagement and hook this client? We got any strategies, contributions, ideas? Go ahead, take yourself off mute if you want a contribution. Heather, yeah.
Maybe just try asking him, if straight out that he switched gears or, but like I said, I use ChatGPT a lot. I don't want to slip up and say the right thing sometimes, to use a little humor, but, maybe a lot of times I've noticed when people are giving you one word answers or they're ghosting you, whatever the case may be, is that they've switched gears in some way and they just don't have the balls to tell you. And, and we're all, kind of in this where you're like, look, bud, I can take it. I'm a realtor. I got thick skin. I'd rather you tell me than waste my time. But of course, in a nice way, but just like, I just wanted to check in. I've noticed, we haven't really been communicating fully on what you're looking for. We haven't really locked down an appointment. Just kind of wanted to see if there is, something else I could provide for you. Have you switched gears? Just maybe throwing that out there and asking them.
And what I would add on that too is rather than asking, is there anything else I can provide for you? Having specific examples like what George was talking about of, I got an exclusive list of people, but not that for that specific client, but instead something like, some of my other clients have found an in-depth market analysis for specific cities to be something useful, showing sales and price trends for the last 6 months. Is that something that you would be interested in, or would you want something like that? But like having a specific, here's a thing, do you want this? Rather than what else can I do? Maybe like, I don't know. I've never bought a house before. How am I supposed to know? Right.
Proactive value add.
Yeah. Tangible value add.
Proactive.
What else? Rapid fire. We got one more minute. Anyone other contributions? How do we rope this client in?
No, I think that's a great. Did you raise your hand as a contribution to that?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say what I did because I had a client like that too most recently, and they were just kind of being really quiet and stuff. So what I did on Tuesday was just not even give them the option. I just said, hey, I found this property that I think you might be interested in based on what we talked about during our buyer's consultation. Let's meet on Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
Exactly.
So that's how I was able to meet them face to face. And now I'm actually in process of going to see more properties with them this afternoon at 4:30. So
that's it. That's proactive value proposition. So who was that? Brandy. And oh, I'm sorry, bro, but we got 1 minute left and we're gonna end right on time. But Brandy, here's a piece of feedback. If you're getting one word answers from that investor, then you ask questions, you direct the question that will drive the one word answer. Hey, I found this property, 123 Main Street. Let's go see it on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Does that work for you? Like a proactive value add, right? A proactive value add, right? And I really appreciate everybody's contributions. Don't want to monopolize the conclusion, but here's what I have for you as we close out. If you're not using ChatGPT, you're behind the game for everything. Pay the $20, get the paid version, use it as your legit assistant. It's number one. Proactive value add. Number two, protect the asset. Number three, that's how we stay at the top of the number one seed. Listen, you guys, I've been saying this since we got in this position. I got in this seat. We are the elite performers, and our position is the top of the food chain, period, the end. This is our new normal. So congratulations to all of you who have worked your ass off to get to this point. We don't let our foot off the gas. Now is when we put our foot on the gas even more. Until I see you next Thursday, crush your weekend. Grace, peace, and blessings to you. Have a fantastic day. Make sure you take care of yourself. Peace.